Hi, Stan Rosenthal here again today, University of Florida Leon County Extension Forester. And today I've got Deborah Lawson with us. And Deborah is an owner of a company called Rejuvenation, which does design, and she's also a master gardener. And what she's going to do is give us some guidelines and then show us some examples in their people's yards on what to do to get what you want out of it. How you doing, Deborah?
I'm good, Stan. I thought for purposes today that we would divide the planning of your yard into two categories, the things that you need and the things that you want. What I put in the needs category are dealing with things like slope and drainage and erosion, dealing with access to your property, ingress and egress in and out of your building and your driveway and those types of things, dealing with existing shrubs and trees on your property, whether they're healthy, whether they need, some pruning, things like that, or to be removed if they're planted too close to your house. And then creating places where you can keep mulch and yard debris on site as opposed to sending all of it to the landfill.
Oh, that's a good thing because that costs the community a lot and it impoverishes our soils. We want to keep those nutrients on site. Well, so those are our needs. What about wants?
Well, wants are those things that everybody thinks about when they're planning their yard. I want a place for my dogs to run, I need a fenced area, I want places for my children to play, I want a rose garden or an herb garden, I want to have a spa, all of those kinds of things, the views and vistas from in and out of your house.
Well, let's go take a look at some of these sites.
Okay, Stan, let's go.
Well, Deborah, this looks like a great area showing thoughtful division of spaces.
Yes, Stan, I think that this yard is a good example of what you can do in a small normal-sized city yard. We've grouped plants according to their needs for light and water and nutrients, and we've provided all kinds of different areas. We have here this rose garden, lots of sun, lots of water. Roses need water. We've got places for growing herbs and citrus. We've got lots of shade areas that utilize the on-site mulch that's created and grow beautiful blooming plants for wildlife and whatnot in the shade.
So you were probably getting better response out of your plants for what you want and it's less work.
Yes, I think it has nothing to do with having a green thumb and everything to do with planting the right things in the right place.
A lot of people like to hear that. Well, Deborah, that's a gorgeous view out that window.
Thank you, Stan. This is an example of a space that is not only beautiful from the outside, but also from inside looking out. This is a European-style parterre garden, which is something that the owners were really anxious to have. Stan, this is a good example of what you can do for a family that's busy, has lots of dogs, children, a lot going on. As these kids got older and started driving and then had friends that drove, this just became a big parking lot. And the family wanted more order, more beauty, some nice plants that did the right thing in the right place. And what we created for them were parking areas that are more designated. The family typically parks in this main area, which leads with a nice walkway to the back door. Makes them feel good when they come home after a long day. And then we also created a second parking area for guests that actually leads with a walkway to the front door, which one of their complaints was no one ever uses our front door, no one ever finds it. So it's worked really well for them.
So you don't have all this chaos and people parking all over the yard, which is bad for the grass and the trees and all that too. So this just helped them out a lot.
It did. Stan, I think this is an example of a family-friendly, dog-friendly backyard. It works for the dogs. There's lots of kind of wild areas where we don't care if they dig a little or whatever. But there's also entertaining space for the family, a fire pit, and room for kids to play and have activities.
Well, Deborah, I can see the confluence of a lot of different things here. What's going on?
Well, Stan, you'll see what we've done to try to deal with drainage issues on this property. There's a pretty substantial slope, and when it rains hard, the water just rushes. So we've created this area of rocks and plantings to help channel the drainage down the driveway and not have everything wash away. It's worked really well, and then we've also got these plants that screen the air conditioning units so that when you drive down the driveway, they're not the first thing you see.
Very nice. Well, Deborah, this is an interesting spot. We got a sandbox, miniature furniture, brightly colored rocks. What's going on here?
Well, Stan, I'm a gardener, and I think it's wonderful to have a space for children to play outside and to enjoy nature and bugs and plants. And this is just a simple area for a child that you can put in any yard of any size to give them a place to be outside and to enjoy the nature.
Very interesting, very nice. Well, we hope you picked up a few things today about guidelines of landscaping your yard so it's family friendly and efficient but looks nice. I'd like to thank Deborah for coming out.
You're welcome, I enjoyed it.
Very good. So, I'm Stan Rosenthal. Until next time.